Hey, what up guys? It's Eric V here, Beta Records TV in the studio. Now, if you're into music, you've probably heard the names like Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones. But the man that's with me here today has kind of lived that whole life with them right up front, close and personal. He's documented pretty much everybody that you can think of over the course of the years. Robert Knight, how you doing?
Good, buddy.
Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by today.
You're welcome.
And how long has it been?
This summer it'll be 41 years.
Wow.
Yeah, long time, a lot of film.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Now, what got you into this in the beginning?
I was actually son of a Baptist minister growing up in Hawaii, and I was hanging around a group of very creative people, and it suddenly dawned on me, and it dawned on them, that I was a rather uncreative person, and I was being ostracized because, you know, I couldn't play guitar, I didn't sing, I didn't write poetry, I didn't paint, and my crew was sort of doing all of that, and I realized I needed something. Then I ended up going to London as a teenage kid, right in the height of the whole Beatle Rolling Stone mania.
Wow.
And I got invited down to a film set, and they were shooting a movie about a sort of swinging photographer in London shooting rock bands and models and everything. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that might be a way in which I could get to these guys. So I went back to Hawaii, caddied as a golf caddy, till I got enough money to buy my first cameras. And 1968, I looked at an article that said that Bill Graham had booked all these iconic bands in the Fillmore West, so I decided I got to go to school in San Francisco, and I convinced my parents I needed to go to the San Francisco Art Institute, and basically I spent all night at the Fillmore and no time at the school and shooting bands. So my first band I ever worked with was Jeff Beck with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood, who later was in the Stones. Within a month I worked with Jimi Hendrix, and Jeff had told me about a band that Jimmy Page was putting together called the New Yardbirds, and I convinced the editor of Rolling Stone magazine to send me to LA to shoot their debut, and the band said send him over. Anybody that was interested in the band, they were interested in, and it was Led Zeppelin. They had changed their name, and I came in with the band as if I was part of the road crew or whatever. They got me in the door, and I shot their debut show in America, and I was the only photographer there.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was probably 17, I don't know, I was really young.
How does a 17-year-old kid go to the big guy at Rolling Stone magazine and say, hey, let me go shoot some pictures of these guys down in LA?
You gotta remember, back when I was young, it was in its infancy, and you could really walk in the door of these places, literally. And when I went to the Hendrix concert, I didn't get a backstage pass, and you didn't need to ask permission if you walked into the venue with a camera. The people that are attending kind of, you know, it's kind of the hippie period, so they kind of got out of the way of the photographer, and I just walked to the front of the stage and started shooting. And then I would go in and take my pictures around San Francisco, and my first paid gig was a $50 poster for the Avalon Ballroom for the Grateful Dead. That was a month's rent. I sound like my granddad now, huh?
Did you have something inside that said, I know these guys are gonna be great, I wanna be there to document this, or was it just going by, hey, their music's cool?
Well, there's something inside of me that was very attracted to that music, and funny enough, usually the things I was attracted to went on to be really quite of important. Now, not that there's any importance in what I did, but it just is uncanny that I've had this ability to latch on to forms of music very, very early on. I feel honestly disconnected to the body of work and the whole process, because there's almost like two sides of my personality. There's the side that does all that stuff, and then there's another side that I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
You know, if I looked at a picture of Jimi Hendrix, it's hard for me to look back 40 years and think, I did that. I don't know, it's a very strange feeling.
Very few people know that rock photographers influence who pop culture begins to see. The right kind of rock photographer pays attention to them, we suddenly are like, oh, well, they must be important.